Welcome to the Outer Arts Portugal Showcase 2022. Today, 5 artistic projects created specifically from public space will share with us the concepts and motivations to go to your festivals and programming in the next few months. And let's start about a short teaser, what you can see in the next minutes. From the idea to the performance, this is the goal of the pitches we are listing today. But before going to the concrete pitches, let's invite our guests to present themselves. And I will start with Circo Caótico. So welcome, Daniel Seabra.
Hi, my name is Daniel Seabra. I'm one of the directors of Circo Caótico. I have worked in some companies around the world. I have worked with Disney, La Flor del Baus, Royal Circus, been there. And then I came to Portugal and I started working with many Portuguese companies, Erva Daninha, Tape. And during the pandemic, I started my company. That name is Circo Caótico. It's a company with 4 persons, 1 musician, 1 architect, and 2 acrobats. And we are focusing doing shows just for non-specific places, for the site-specific places and public space. That's it.
Thank you, Danielle. And
thank you.
Now it's time to keep our journey and to bring to the conversation Beatriz Valentim.
Hello, so my name is Beatriz Valentim and I am a Portuguese dancer and creator who lives in Porto. I started to dance at 5 years old and all my formation is classical ballet and contemporary dance. But at the age of 19, I took a degree on sociology while I was starting my professional career. So now I am a freelance dancer and artist working with several choreographers like Olga Roriz, Mafalda de Ville, Raimund Og, and I also teach contemporary dance in professional schools. My work is centered in dance, but I really like to use like the methodologies that I have learned with sociology and with communities and with non-formal performances. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Beatriz. And let's keep our journey now with Vaya and B-Side Company, and I will invite Berna Widobro to join us. Berna, can you please turn on your mic?
Hello, I am Berna. I am representing Vaya and B-Side Company. That is the conjunction of a French and a Portuguese company. So we are Vaya. It was created in 2016 and B-Side in 2014. Why do we get together? Because we are passionate, everybody, each of us, for partner acrobatics. So we wanted to make a show, not only partner duo acrobatics, we wanted to do like a partner acrobatic playing with all the different numbers and combination. Also, we have a very focus on contemporary dramaturgy for circus shows in open spaces. That's one of the things that put us together working. And also we have common grounds because we did some circus school together. So in this project, we are conjuncting different approaches and needs. That's Vaya. We got together in 2000 in this project. Vaya and B-Side, we got together in 2019, and the opening of the show it's in 2020. So now we're traveling with our show.
Thank you, Berna. We'll bring in the conversation later, and now we keep the short journey inviting Gilles Ferrão to present himself.
Hi, I'm Gil Ferrão. I'm a Portuguese artist that I'm living in Lisbon, and that thinks of art as a form of encounter and freedom. Art creates experiences, leads us to a place, and puts us back again where we are. I like to repurpose objects, use them to create something new, and after creating these objects, I shape an installation where they live, where most of times there is the possibility for touching and interaction with the pieces. And I think that's it. I'm represented by Artemis Gallery that is in Lisbon, and yeah.
Thank you, Gilles. Later you'll present with all details. And the last project, I will invite Rita Carmo Martins to join us to present the project Link.
So hello, I'm Rita. I represent the project Link, as Bruno is saying. I represent a trio of three women, Daria, Joana, and me. We all have different backgrounds. Our common field is the circus practice. We are all circus artists in this moment based in different countries, Portugal, Sweden, and France. And what we had also in common is that our circus practice, it's really strongly influenced by visual arts. And we had the common interest of working with public space, with movement, with the body, and with the architecture of the space, and with the objects. So that's why we went together to this project that is based in the concept of linking people, but also linking the space, creating new ways of linking in general way. But I will show you after. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. And now we will start with the project presentations, but before, I want to give a short notice for all the registrant participants that are watching us via the YouTube system. So you are allowed to use the chat and comments to put questions to the presenters. So in the end of the presentations, if there are any questions that you put in the web chat, I can bring it to the discussion. So feel free to use it. And now it's time to invite Daniel Seabra to start the pitch for Circo Caótico. Please, Daniel.
So, hi again. This show that I'm presenting today calls Raiz, that means root in English. And we create this show exactly after the pandemic, and with the goal to approach people together after the pandemic. And the show also is about that. The show, it's me, my flyer, Mafalda, and the musician is with live music. And we do the show in a space 7 to 7, full of earth, and Mafalda never touched the floor. We do this show, we create this show thinking always about this idea of sharing a space and how to share this space, and how my body can change your body when we are inside this place. The show is 36 degrees. The people is around us, and we perform this show also in night and day. But maybe I will ask Bruno, can you push the video so the people can see what I'm talking about? All our shows, we always perform with live music, and also we do we are independent in the material. We travel, if we go by car, we travel with our rig, because the show is also with trapeze, with our lights and sound. If we travel by bus or train or flight, we travel with our rig and the lights only. The time to set up is 35 minutes, and to set down is 1 hour. And the place that we need is 7 to 7, and we prefer actually to go by public transport. That's also one goal of the company. And that's it. Thank you so much. And see you there.
Thank you, Danielle, for sharing all it with us. And we'll keep our journey. And I will now invite Beatriz Valentin to go on screen and present the project Self.
Okay, so hi again. I am here to present you Self, a duet created in 2021 with performer Mercedes Quijada from Granada, Spain, who I invited to join me on stage. Self had its premiere in September 2021 at Festival Interferências, Lisbon, but the idea appeared in June, same year, during Camping, a workshop in Centre National de la Danse in Paris. After that, it was already presented at DDD Out, part of DDD Festival in Porto. Initially it was a solo, but soon became a duet for having at hit spaces concepts such as reflexibility and duality. Starting from the sociological concept of self, I proposed to think what questions we ask ourselves and what questions we ask others, what dependency relations we have from a social point of view, and what spaces and contexts we inhabit. So the reflexive analysis of the self implies the other, and the analysis of the other implies the self. So for me, the body is matter, it takes up space, and it has constancy and density. So self as a performance is for me this adaptation of the body to the space. So the staircase of Casa do Design that you see on this video was already the third space that this performance inhabits. So the first space was the lobby of the Centre National de la Danse, and it was really small. So the whole approach to the space was very different from the one that we have already experienced. And it is important to note that the creation of the show started and continue starting from the space. So this performance should happen during the day in a clean space, if possible, without gardens or trees or too much noise around. It can be small or large because we look exactly for these adaptations to the space. So we did it already in a really small space, and after we did in this big, huge square, as you can see. There is no scenography, and we are 3 people touring, 2 dancers, and 1 sound operator. The setting can happen at the same day of the performance because we just need to check the sound. So at least 3 hours before to have time for us to check the spacing of the performance. If possible, we would like to have access to the space by images and measures a few days in advance. And this performance has about 30 minutes. It depends as well on the public, because when the public is arriving, we are already there on the space. Stopped. So to finish this presentation, I would like to give you the definition of self and what is that for me. The self is the body and the continuity of our existence. It is related to our ability to see ourselves as one and as a whole, making us unique and private. What happens in the level of the I interferes in the social level and vice versa. And why is that? Because we live in a contemporary society where the dynamics and influence of institutions and the ways in which habits and traditions are broken have a strong impact on our lives. So, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Beatriz. Thank you for sharing all this project with us. And now let's keep our journey. And it's time to invite back Berna Widobro to join us and to present the project I See You. Berna.
Hello. Well, I am representing Baya. It's a quartet acrobatic show. We're coming from different countries. I'm from Chile. I live in Portugal. Also, we have a Portuguese partner, a French, and an Italian. So it's an international co-production project. Next one. Yes, the starting points of the show is we wanted to create a portable circus show. We wanted to make it easy for the programmers. So that's why also we put together our passion for partner acrobatics. So it's all in our bodies. We wanted to create a show where the narrative is working in 3 levels. First of all, in our bodies, in the space, where do we put our choreographies? In the third one, in the context of the show. The dramaturgy of the show, it's created by frames. So each scene, it's a frame that works by itself. And this makes us the possibility that we can make different versions of the shows. That's one of our starting points. Next one. The creative idea of the show is we wanted to put the artist and the audience inside the mind of a woman. So the acrobatics that we're doing, it's a mechanism that helps us to unveil the thoughts of humanity. And the inspiration, it was the film Inside Out from Pixar Animation Studio. And the context is it's an inspiration of the documentary Human. So the show, the guideline of the show, it's a voice off that represents our inner spirit. That's why we are all dressed by different colors, because each performer, it's kind of like represent a different version of the personality of this woman. Next one. The subject and content. So the show has a fine line speaking about gender equality. And as we are two guys and 2 girls, what it's interesting is that how we create the dramaturgy, we could merge together the vision of the 2 genders on what is it to be a woman today. And also, as we are an international cast, we could merge the different cultural approaches to this subject. So what it's at the end is like a very rich approach to this subject. Next one. Well, now supposedly we were going to see a trailer, but we don't have this one, so go to the next one. The technique. Well, we need something really easy. We need a performing area, flat, clean, flat floor, 7 by 8 meters, 7 meter high. The scenography, we install a tatami 5 by 5. And what is really useful is we have one slot of these tatamis in Portugal and another one in France. So when we travel north, we take the ones that are in France and in Portugal. So like this, we can make a more sustainable touring. Also, as you've seen in the pictures, we can perform indoor and outdoor. It works really well in both situations. The show duration is 50 minutes, but we also have a street version, 30-minute show, and we can do it twice a day. So that's very useful as well. Next one. Circus technique, we're doing lots of hand-to-hand, banking, human towers, as you see in the pictures. And the team is, we are 4 performers traveling by plane, car, or yeah, even if we speak with the venues, we can not take our tatami, so we are all in public transport, really easy. And also what is interesting, it's with the same mechanism, we have a kid version show. It's instead of being inside the mind of a woman, we are inside of the mind of a little girl. So we adapt the dramaturgy of the show to the mind setting of the kids, and it works really well. Next one. Festival touring, we have been in Spain, France, Portugal, and Italy. And what am I sharing this info? It's because we have this, I said that we have this guideline with a voice off. It's really easily to translate to the different language. We have already translated to 4, and it could be really easy to translate to more. And with this, we can have like a very local touch of the show. We adapted to the local. So that's really useful. Next one. And what am I looking for? Well, programmers or festivals that are interested on buying the show, festival theaters, and also programmers that are interested on creating different projects together. Because as we create the shows with different frames, we can easily readapt it to create another projects together. We're open for that. Yeah, thank you very much. And this is I See You.
Thank you, Werner, for sharing it with us. And we'll keep our journey. But before, I will just remember you, everyone that is watching us at home, that you can use the chat in the YouTube system to put any questions you want for the presenters, and I will bring them on table in the end if there are any questions. So keep going. Now I will invite Gilles Ferrand to join us again and present your project Playground.
Hi again. My project Playground travels between different places and interacts with different people. Its aesthetic is ever changing, but its idea is constant: to create a moment in a public space where the spectator can play, interact, or meet someone. There can exist a dialogue between strangers, a space for sharing ideas or playing together. I find it interesting when people say that my work makes them feel like they traveled in time. We can be kids again and throw upon once more, without any type of formatation. Be the child that each and everyone really is. Each participant has the freedom to be who they are, to return that innocent mindset where we can play with everything, where everything is full of possibility. Interact however we want, be ourselves in a relationship with all things around us that can be seen and touched. Games are always things that makes us children again. The outdoors or public space can give us a freer experience than a white cube. The space belongs to everybody. We are on the street, just like when we are kids and jump rope. The streets is always the place where we feel more freedom. It's important to think that games can make us more aware of what we think, of what we like. They make us notice our body more, for example. While we practice new skills, we train forces, velocities, and our aim. The project looks like an outdoor installation. It can be active during 24 hours, depending where it's happening and the people's movement through the city. The space is studied in order to create a connection with my work. I appropriate the space characteristics and I observe the space to create an installation. I talk with the space and the space talks back. I research its history and its impact in the city's life. I observe how it's used. The project Playground is easily adaptable to most spaces. Each site has room for my installation, creating a very organic dialogue between the both. It can be a central square, a street, an abandoned building, or terrain. The project travels around. For its installation, the project needs a ladder, a drill, and some screw plugs sometimes. It's a simple and adaptable project. In terms of transport, my car has been helping a lot. But in the case of making this project happen outside of Portugal, I can ship the piece and meet them there to install. Maybe in 1 2 weeks. I've been collaborating with institutions and associations in order to get financial support to keep showing this project in all its forms. It's always searching new residences and exhibitions that challenge me, that elevate my work. The objects I create breathe the space characteristics, and this is the main factor that influences how each artwork interacts with its context. The performative potential of each object is tested in a way, to promote the creativity and the imagination of spectators. The public is inserted in my work's process. The objects roll, scratch, draw, they dive, go up and down. My work is a reflex, is an inspection or a catalyst of the performance thoughts. The intuition of our gestures leads the interaction between our body, mind, and the piece of art. We need to stay connected to Earth, participating as humans in our body's movement, enjoying our mobility, experience, and freedom. The act of creating an outdoor interactive installation leads to an unexpected encounter of spectators, something that we don't expect on our routines. It's something that stands out and it calls us in a different way. We feel pulled to be involved. We want to be part of this. Play is human. This project looks to explore the way in which the public can also take part in creating and explore their creative side, transforming them in artistic content creators. My work is open and most of times it doesn't involve rules. Any person can co-create and be a performer. It is within the public's interaction with my sculptures and installations that my work gains form. Some pieces are similar to old games in the way that we feel drawn to their simple shapes. They move and call us you to touch them, like a swing, a roly-poly toy, or even a ball. Every sculpture and installation is created for the public. We forget how important it is to have awareness of movement, touch, gesture, feeling, of how we learn while playing, and how it gives us skills that we will understand only in the future. The goal is to create a performance with the people that give themselves to the artworks. They can dance with somebody. We are our one own identity. It shows in who we are, how we touch, speak, and interact. And that's it. Thank you a lot. One more time.
Thank you, Jill, for your presentation. And we'll back in touch in some minutes if there are any questions. And let's go for the last pitch of this session. So I will invite Rita Carmo Martins to the stage.
So hello. It's missing my PowerPoint. Yeah. So I'm presenting Link. In this project, we work with PVC tubes. They are water tube of color blue. So this is the team. And with this project, we are really interested in this idea of linking. We try to link pieces to create different frames, to create sculptures, 3D structures, and that we can frame and reframe, or that we can construct and deconstruct in order to interact with the public space, but also with the people. So this can be something that we can work only the three of us, that we made a connection between we three and the segments of PVC, but it can also be an interaction with the space. And this idea is to create a way of existing together in this idea of linking people, linking the space, but also to raise questions and interfere and interact with the space where we inhabit. So creating new ways of perceiving and also experience the place where we know for an ordinary day, in the way of changing it or creating new experiences. So in this case, we are all circus performers, but our interest in this case is the public space. It is our practice and what made us going together into these projects. But we are interested about the sound that the tubes can make, the forms that we can create, the structures, how we can interfere with architecture, how we can interfere with the passersby. So there is something, circus is our way of perceiving it, but doesn't need to be a circus project. It is still a work in progress, so we are working on it. And we are interested of this idea of the self and the we and the space, the collective space, the physical space, but also this idea of interior space and how can we pass this sensation and how can we raise questions about the place where we live. So it's also important to say that this is a site-specific project most of the time. So we are interested in creating for the spaces, but also what the space can bring to this work. And we have some things that are adaptable to the spaces. We have some sequences, some choreographies, if we can say that. But also we want that the place speaks by itself. So as I was saying, it is a site-specific adaptable work because there are some frequencies, some parts of it that we already know, but we really want to create in situ and to see what the place can give to us and how it can interfere with what we have and how can we really do something for the space where we are creating to it. We already presented in the city of Porto and with the help of the Deciders and also in Beta Circus Final Conference. And we have the support from Bússola, Eixo Residências e Estudo 80 Pilates. And now Bruno will put the video. I will talk a little bit more. We just wait for the video. Thank you. So this is a video from some experience that we did in Trindade Station. It's a metro station that we used the space for researching what we could do with the material. And to have some of these sequences also recorded. And we are interested of keep on doing residencies for researching more about these subjects. But also, and more important than that, we are really interested in this idea of creating in situ, in site-specific. So we would ask for the festivals or the venues for 3 days, depending of the space, or at least 3 days, for that we can adapt, but also use the space for creating. And we are also interested of this idea of working with community and try to get this work bigger. And so we would be really interested of doing like workshops or activities involving with the community and creating a way that they can, through this artistic practice, to connect them, to link the people, to make them talk about what they are doing. Like with the really simple experiences, but creating new experiences. So we are interested in this idea of creating something with 3 performers, but we are even more interested in creating something with 300 performers. And using these water PVC blue tubes to create installations, to connect people, to really create these links. So I think that's it in general. And it's this, we can adapt, but we can also create, and we are really interested in this idea. And we can travel by plane, by train, by public transportation. Mostly, we are interested also in the ecological point of view of this project. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita, for your presentation. And let's bring a table for the first time this afternoon. So bring back Daniel, Beatriz, Berna, and Jill. So this is the 5 projects you have listened and watching in the last half an hour. I don't have received any question from the participants, so it means that you have been very clear. But as you know, you can keep in touch with the connection we will do after this session. But before our ending, and that's why I bring you together. So I think some of you already give this information, but if you already have some dates concrete or an option for next year, maybe you can just share with us and for the people that are in the other side of the screen to put in the calendar where they can see you in the next months. So who wants to be the first? Anyone? Maybe Rita, you have any place you are expecting to work in the next month?
In this moment, no. We are waiting for some answers. There is the possibility of going to UK, but it's not confirmed yet, so we can't present you concrete dates yet.
Great. And Danielle?
We have 5 dates like confirmed in festivals, but in Portugal, and we have also one in Madrid in June. But the day is not. But it's also not this show. It's another show. But that's it. In June we'll be in Madrid, and in Portugal we'll have already some dates in FIAR, the festival, and MAR also in Sines, and Modus, that is in Albergaria, in September. Yeah, and that's it. But you can follow us on the we share all the time. They're the new dates.
Okay. Jill, maybe you want to share something?
In December, I will have an exhibition in Lisbon, in Artemis Gallery, and another in Porto. There is in Ocio. There is a artist run space, but it's an interactive installation. There is inside, so it's quite different because it's in a white cube that you can see also.
Thank you. Berna or Beatriz?
Hello. Well, with this project, we're going to be kind of like in June near Aveiro. Also, we're going to be in Algarve in the month of May. We're going to be performing in some schools. So yeah. Also, we are applying, but it's not concrete. It's applyment for IPRES. You know, this IPRES City of Wings. So let's see what happens. If it goes well, we can see us there. And in May, also in France, we're going to be there in l'Ardèche. It's a region north of Lyon. Yes.
Great. Some options for the people seeing us to connect you. And Beatriz, do you have something to share?
Yeah, not with self. So self is like waiting for you, and but I have another creation that actually we started last month. So we are working on this, but it's for a formal stage. So it's for theaters, and I will premiere next here in May. Lole, Lisbon, and Porto. So if you want to watch, and also I still working with some choreographers, and I would like to say that I have my website, so you can check all these dates. It's just beatrizvalentin dot and pt, like very simple. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Beatriz. And that's it. So we are approaching the end. So this is the idea, to be like short and direct. And I would like to thank you for all of you, not only the 5 that are here, but all the team around your projects. And I really hope that the information you share with us and with all the participants in the other side of the screen can help you to travel around Portugal and Europe in the next year and following. And it's also time to thank you for the participants that take some time of your lives to join us and to understand the work of these artists are doing. And last but not the least, I would also like to invite you all to join us in person for the second step of this showcase. It will be in Ilhavo in Portugal in the 30th November and 1st December. So you can see some live performances in connection with LAM Festival and Circo Strada Network Dive 2 events. So you can keep going with the showcase, see a festival, and go deeper with a Portuguese artistic creation. So you can find more information at outerarts.pt as usual. And stay tuned for one extra minute and you can discover a bit more what's happening next with Outer Arts Portugal. Hope to see you all very soon in person. Thank you.